Hello everyone. Today we are proud to present our final project for the subject of computer programming. This is a text-based role-playing game titled Phantom Saga. It is a fully functional adventure game built entirely in Python. In this project, we applied the core topics of what we learned from prelims to finals, specifically demonstrating the use of conditional statements, looping statements, lists, dictionaries, and functions. Now, before we formally start, we would like to introduce ourselves first. Starting off, I am John Israel B. Lopez, the leader of this group, together with...
Hello, I'm Danica.
Hi, I'm Niel.
Hello everyone, I'm Tron.
The purpose of this program is to simulate the game system within a command line interface, or the terminal. It provides an interactive experience where the user acts as a hero. They can explore, fight enemies like orcs and golems, visit a shop to buy potions or better sword, and manage their health and mana resources. In this project, we demonstrated the use of data structures. We used Python dictionaries to store the complex data for enemies, player stats, and inventory items so that the game can scale easily with new content. We used a nested dictionary called world data, and each location is a key in that dictionary. And inside that, there is a list of specific monsters.
We chose to build an RPG because aside from handling the complex logic and state management, we love playing games and it became our motivation for this project. We wanted to challenge ourselves, create a system where the player's choices matter. It also gave users an immersive and simple fantasy simulation using Python. We aim to simulate the progression and provide strategic gameplay.
In the upcoming demo, you will see the core gameplay loop in action. This includes exploring different locations, engaging in turn-based combat against enemies like orcs, visiting the shop for upgrades, and managing your crucial health and mana resources. The first thing that's gonna happen once we start a program is that the terminal will ask the user to enter the name. It will initialize the player profile using the input function. Now let's try inputting my name John as an example. Once we hit enter, the program then stores this string in a variable and displays a welcome message to the game world. This sets up my initial stats within the player dictionary. So let's try our program. Let's go explore the area. So we're gonna enter 1. Oh. So, okay, you might notice that I just found items 3 times in a row without triggering a fight. This actually demonstrates the random number generation mechanics we programmed. So, let's try selecting option 1 again. And there we have it, our first encounter enemy. So here it pulled an wild goblin scavenger from the world data list associated with this specific location. So we use the conditional statements to check if the user wants to perform a basic attack, to use a skill, use item, or run. So in this case, we will attack the enemy. So once the player acts, the enemy automatically retaliates using the same damage calculation. So you can see here that the enemy also attacks me and that my HP also drops. So let's proceed to our shop function. Here I chose the option 3 and then it displayed me the listed shop, and we have the potions, the scrolls, weapons, armor, and our gold. So let's try selecting an ID. Let's say the platinum sword, which is 14. It will now then display that we purchased the platinum sword that corresponds to the specific ID. So let's try 20 steel armor. And there we have it. We purchased it again and then deducted to our gold. How about we try greater health potion, which costs 50 gold. And there we have it. We bought it. And let's try minor strength. No, let's try major strength potion for 150 gold. Now, our remaining gold is now 5 only. Seems like we can't buy anything from the store anymore. So, if we try to buy again, it will just display not enough gold. So let's input 0 to exit the shop. Let's now proceed to our inventory option. Here, once we enter the inventory, it will list all items and loots that we got either from fight or items we bought from the shop. Here we have a superior experience potion that we got earlier from loot, so let's try using that. Oh, surprisingly, we also leveled up. This is then what displays when we level up. It displays the tattoos, refills our HP and MP, and increases our stats. So anyway, let's try equipping our platinum sword. It also displayed how much stat you got from equipping this item. In this case, we got plus 20 attack. Let's try steel armor and then use the potions. So now, let's go try to travel the area. Change location. Now we have forest, we have cave, we have village, castle ruins, and dark swamp. That is our location choices. Let's try going to the village. See, our location changed to village since that's where we went. So what happens here is that the global variable updated. And then when we try to explore area, we encountered a wild headless horseman appears. Now let's check if the data corresponds to the location. So here in our village dictionary, we have the headless horseman. So that aligns perfectly and that our global variable is updated. So here we have our first boss encounter, the forest hydra. As you can see, we have a special text here emphasizing that our enemy is a boss. So here we try to fight it, but seems like we can't defeat this one because we are still too weak and that we encountered this boss early. Take note that the boss encounter only has a 5% chance of appearing. So let's try escaping. Here we can see that we failed to escape the boss and that we only have 30% luck. So let's try to push our luck until we can fully escape. So in this scenario, we encounter the boss again and we will try to defeat this. So after the battle, we leveled up and we ranked up from rookie to scout. Notice that we also have rewards for ranking up. Now this is a different type of leveling up because this is specifically is for leveling up condition, which is when you reach level 5, level 10, level 15, level 20, until level 100. So for now, we have reward health potion, we have mana potion, and the scout's allowance, which is 100 gold. So let's look at our data if that is correct. So here we can see our rank rewards data dictionary. We have the scout, we have health potion, we have mana potion, and scout's allowance. So that means that our rewards are correct according to the data. So now let's try demonstrating the usage of skills. Here we have the perfect scenario, which is we encounter the boss Griswold Warden. So let's try our skills to this enemy. So here we have Power Strike, we have Double Slash, we have Holy Light, we have Ultimate Nuke. And each of those, we have MP costs and how much damage it will deal. So let's try using Power Strike. And it dealt 91 damage. Let's try using other skills. And we have Double Slash, we used it and we dealt 134 damage. And notice that our MP also deducted. From the earlier, we have 85 MP. But we used the Power Strike, which is 10 MP, so our MP became 75. And by using Double Slash, we also got deducted 20 MP. So our current MP right now is 55. Now let's try using our Ultimate Nuke, which costs 50 MP. And there we dealt 244 damage. And our current MP now is 5 because it deducted 50 MP to our current MP. So what would happen if the player died or reaches 0 health? So in this program, the program asks me if we want to try again. If I input yes, then our player status will just reset back to default. And then we will just proceed to try to play again. Otherwise, if we input no, the program will just automatically close. In our code, we imported three Python library module. First one is the random. We use this for random generation of numbers, and the time we use this for slow print effect, and the import OS for text colors. We set the color of HP like this: the red, MP is for blue, bus is for purple, and rank is yellow. So basically, the content of our code is just a lot of data, like this one, the data structure of the player, which is all about the status of the player and the world data. And we also have the rank rewards data for ranking system. And lastly, our items, usable items. Now, we also practice the use of comments to let us avoid getting confused in our code. Like this is only a list of potions, this is a list of scrolls, weapons, and so on. Now, we use functions, we use conditional statements, we use looping state, we use we also use lists, and yeah, that's basically it. So, and this is our function for starting the game, which is the main function.
How does the game handle difficulty as you play longer? We implemented a dynamic scaling system. In the encounter enemy function, the program checks the player's current level. It then mathematically increases the enemy's health and attack power based on that level. This ensures that even the starting area, the forest, remains a challenge as you get stronger.
How does the combat work? The battle faction uses a while loop that continues as long as both the player and the enemy have more zero health. Inside the loop, we accept user input to attack or use a skill, calculate damage using a player's attack stats minus the enemy defense stat, and then let the enemy attack back and do the same formulation.
So, to give a little backstory, I actually started working on the core concept of Phantom Saga even before this project was officially assigned. I've always been interested in how RPG systems work, so I had a bit of a head start. Because of that, our group's goal was not just to build something from scratch, but to take that prototype, finish it, and really flesh it out with new content. And as the leader, I wanted to make sure the workload was balanced. I assigned tasks based on what I knew my members could handle, and my main role shifted to managing the workflow and helping them whenever they get stuck on the code. To be honest, the most challenging part for me was the logic and flowchart. A text-based RPG might look simple, but managing the state of game like inventory, health, and location data all at once became almost too complex for us at one point. But thankfully, we managed to pull it together. If we had more time, I would have loved to implement a save and load system. That way, players could quit and regain their progress later. I also wanted to give the boss monsters their own skills, so they're not just doing basic attacks. But overall, I'm really happy with what we accomplished.
Me and Rob work on the user interface and input validations. Since this is a text-based game, we wanted to make sure the console output looked clean.
A major problem we faced was the program crashing if the user typed a word instead of a number during menu selection. To fix this, we implemented error handling. We created logic that detects invalid inputs and prints a message like invalid input, please try again, instead of crashing the game.
We focused on the game loop and the battle mechanics. My main responsibility is to make sure that the while true loops kept the game running until the player either died or chose to exit.
So, in conclusion, developing this RPG titled Phantom Saga taught us how to organize code into reusable functions. Instead of writing one giant script, we broke the game down into logical parts, a battle function, a shop function, and a level up function, and many other functions. This project took us from writing basic lines of code to create what we had in our mind. And that sums up our presentation. Thank you for watching.